Welcome everyone, I am Anil and in this video you are going to learn how to prepare a material submittal for your construction project. Before moving forward, please make sure you watch my previous video on material submittal to get familiarized about what the material submittal is. And before moving forward in this video, please make sure you have subscribed my channel and press the bell icon. Let's move into the video. The first things to include in the material submittal is project information. So project information includes what the project is about, client, engineer, contractor, subcontractor and the supplier information. Okay, so these are the information I have kept as a sample for you. You need to change this information as per your project description. Next thing is the index. So these are the things to be included in the material submittals. So from 1 to 12, so I'll go one by one what these things are. Okay, so number one is relevant specs. So the specs, you take these specs from your contract documents, it will be mentioned in the general condition of the contract or the special condition of contract. So either it could be based on the international standard specifications or your local standards. Okay, so you need to take those specs from your contract and specify which materials requires what specifications. Since you can see this specs is about the pipe, so you can see from the specs it says up to 700 diameter, the internal ultimate resistance should be 100 Newton per mm. So these things are specified in the specs, but you need to provide in the material submittals that what exactly you need for each of the materials. So these are the information you need to include. Okay, so the next thing is compliance statement. So while you are submitting at the very beginning, you won't have the compliance statement, but since once you submit to the client, consultant, so they will review your documents and they will give hundreds of comments. Okay, so you need to comply to all the comments. Some of the comments could not be complied, so in that case if you cannot comply it, you need to clearly state why you cannot comply it, and most of the cases you need to comply it. You need to discuss with the supplier and comply those comments. As you see, there was a comment on this quality control, so you need to comply with this one and you mention complied. Okay, so this is done actually while you resubmit your submittals. The third one is the drawings. So there will be two types of drawings to be included in the material submittals. One will be the purpose installation drawing. What are the purpose types of drawing you are going to do? The layout, it could be the sections, top view, it could be the very different type of drawing in the project. The next one is the technical drawings from your material, so how it was manufactured, those information has to be included in the form of drawings. Okay, so the fourth one will be bill of quantity. So you need to specify what will be the quantity of the materials used in that project. So since we are discussing about the pipes, so we'll discuss about the what are the different diameters of the pipe used, what are the categories of pipe used. We need to specify all the length or the quantity of the materials used. So it could be in meter, it could be in cubic feet, depends on the material what you are using in the project. Okay, so you need to specify all the things from the BOQ. So the fifth one is the test report. So you need to include the test report that you do the factory test or the test done in the different laboratories. So those test report has to be included in your material submittal for each individual's materials. For example, if you have like 50 different types of materials or 50 different accessories, so you need to go through the specs what it mentions. So how much what are the things required for the to be done for the testing, so you need to include all those things. Okay, so the number 6 is the catalog and brochures. So for your company you definitely have a brochure, so you will attach the brochures from your company, not your company, the manufacturing company, the supplier one. The catalog will be all the accessories your supplier produces. They may produce thousands of accessories. Okay, so that is what we need to include it in those catalog, what actually they manufacture, what are the sizes, what are the internal diameter, what are the external diameter, length, breadth, all the details for each of the materials. Okay, number 7 will be material data sets. So material data set actually contain the information of only those materials that are using in this project. So maybe if you are using 10 different types of materials, means 10 different items from the BOQ, so you need to provide the information for those all those 10 different materials. Okay, that could be what are the dimension of that pipes, or what is the material to be used, so what is the abrasion of this pipe, so what is the strength of this pipe. Okay, so those are the properties of the pipe has to be, means of the material has to be included in this material submittal. Okay, number 8 will be previous approval. Why this is important is the client and the consultant wants to know that this material is good enough, because previous project has used this same material, means they it actually build the trust on those people and say, okay, yeah, this material was used before in this prestigious project, so we can also accept this material. Probability of acceptance become higher if you have the previous acceptance rate. So number 9 will be the trade license. So you should have the active trade license from the Department of Commerce or whatever applicable in your country. So make sure this trade license of the supplier is active, so it do not expire within 3 months. Because why 3 months is mandatory? Because these durations of these material submittals takes almost 3 months. There is high possibility that material submittal will get rejected if their trade license is not active. So make sure they do have the active trade license. And number 10 will be the certifications. It could be the ISO certification, or it could be the kite mark, or it could be the standard certificates from like specific organizations. And number 11 will be the company profile. So company's profile includes the management involved, the size of the industries, the revenue they generate, number of people working in the company, and whom the client or the consultants should contact if there is a need of urgency. So those detail has to be provided in the company profile. And number 12, the most important thing is the client and the consultant will be looking is the draft warranty, because once the project is completed, so it will enter into the warranty period. So they want to make sure that these materials provide the sufficient warranty until the few years or the many years. Okay, so based on the project requirement, your supplier or the manufacturer should provide the draft warranty. So they should provide, okay, we are providing warranty for these many years, we cover these things, so we replace those things, everything. So at the end, so this is the process how it goes for the material submittals. First, the supplier or the manufacturer provide the contractor the documents. So what you do, you compile all those documents, you include with yours, because you have the layout, all those things, and you do have the additional information on the specs. So you combine with the supplier provided submittals. So then you submit with the consultant or the engineer, then engineer will review it. So if the engineer find out that okay, it matches with our standard, so they forward this with the client, then client again review it, contractor will proceed what to do with the next. So for example, the status could be approved. So approved means the consultant accept the document as it is without any comments. They are fully satisfied with the documents and they say you can proceed. That's a green signal, but that will be very rare. In short form it is mentioned as APP or A. The next will be approved as noted. In short form it is mentioned as AN or B status. Okay, in this case what happens is consultant provide with few comments. So like the comments you saw before, the compliance to comply those comments. So you need to comply those comments. So the comments could be related to the safety, it could be related to the quality, it could be related to how you execute the work. The most of the time the B status is about how you execute the work, and the quality assurance plan, most of the thing that they discuss about is, if you have the B status means you can proceed for ordering those materials. So with the status A and status B, you can immediately release the LPO to the supplier so that they can start producing those materials, or they can start shipping those materials to you. Okay, the third one is revise and resubmit. Revise and resubmit actually means they are not satisfied with some of the terms, some of the quality of the things, or some of the sizes of the things, or it doesn't match the specs, or it doesn't match some of the requirements. So in that case they will request to revise some of the things, they will provide with the comments. It means that you need to correct it and send it back. Okay, revise and resubmit. While you have revise and resubmit and you cannot order those materials, okay, you need to pause that process. You need to ask the supplier to revise those documents, do all the necessary work, and resubmit back to the consultant. And the fourth one is the rejected. So it means the submittals you submitted does not comply with the project requirement. It is definitely for sure they are not happy with the materials you proposed, or the company you proposed, there is some issue with it. So in that case what you do, you go with a new supplier. You need to propose a new supplier or the manufacturer. Okay, so in this case you need to start from very beginning. Again it is a rework for you. Technically all this process takes 1 month for one cycle. So each cycle you complete, again it will take 15 days. So for example, from supplier to contractor, that will be 3 days. Contractor to consultant, for the first time it will be 14 days, and returning back from the consultant to contractor will be 14 days for the first time. But in the next cycle it will reduce to half. So for example, revise and resubmit for the contractor will take 7 days, and engineering consultant will take 7 more days to review and return back. Means the duration will get reduced. The first cycle will definitely take 1 month, but the next cycle will be in the 15 days. So that is why you need to take care of the material submittal. You need to submit all the material submittal on time, so that you can order those material on time, because if you miss ordering the materials, you cannot execute the work at site, right? So this is all about material submittal. If you have any doubts, please put the comments below. You can also check the blog link provided in the description. Thank you for watching.